My next guest is coming off a big win last Saturday, UFC Vegas 74, getting it done by decision. It is John Castaneda live from his backyard. Look at this. John, how are you, man?
I'm good, James. Just like we spoke about here a little bit ago, just taking in the sun right now.
So many things to talk about from this fight. I wanted to start first with the fact that you had to switch up an opponent. How was that for you? Was it difficult adjusting for a new guy? Because I know, again, you had done a lot of training leading into this fight, and then you find out your opponent's out. You're fighting a new guy. How was everything sort of going into the fight?
Yeah, definitely a little bit nerve-wracking. I think this is it's happened to me a couple times, where I've been a last-minute replacement guy for somebody else, but I've never been on the other end of it. So it's definitely a little nerve-wracking, like you said, especially preparing for a specific style and a fighter. But luckily for me, they both kind of, to an extent, they both kind of had similar styles in a sense of like wild striking and stuff like that. I think Mendoza had maybe a little bit higher pedigree of jiu-jitsu, but obviously Gafurov with the higher pedigree of wrestling. So very similar styles. Nonetheless, I've seen it all. I was speaking to MMA Junkie a couple days ago, and this is my 26th professional fight. I had 17 amateur fights. So between that, there's really not much that nobody's gonna show me anything in there that I haven't already seen at least once or twice. So.
How did you feel in there? It was a good performance. I know you mentioned to me previously that you'd spent some time in Thailand going into this fight. Like, how did the new tools sort of, translate into the actual fight? How was everything?
I felt good. I feel like I could have definitely had a better performance, but to be honest, it was just so hard to get some offense going and a good rhythm going while trying to be on the defense the entire fight. I felt like, he was coming with power every single strike, left hands, right hands, and kicks included. And on that aspect, I've never actually ever fought anybody that literally throws knockout power every single punch. So it was good to get exposed to that and what that kind of felt like, and just kind of being able to slow down the fight, be a little bit more technical, pick my shots, and do the damage that I needed to do when I could. But I felt fine. I felt good. My eyes were very alert, just like I kind of said. All the training I did in leading up to the fight was definitely like the best thing that I took from it was definitely like sharpening my eyes and kind of just being like live in the moment, seeing his movements. And I was able to dodge and block a lot of his shots, but he was just so relentless and power striking. And I did what I could.
Was there anything, I mean, you kind of touched a bit on it there. Was there anything else in the fight that maybe you weren't expecting from him as far as any surprises?
No, I think for us, a couple of days, I was expecting him to be a little bit less conditioned than me, but then I kind of switched mindsets at the very end. I was like, hey, let's just go in there and pretend like this guy's been working for this short notice shot, for weeks, and he's going to be in really good shape. So, and he was nonstop from first to third round. So I think maybe towards the end there, the last couple minutes, he did start to slow down a little bit, and my conditioning was able to take over his. But other than that, I'm just ready to go on to the next one and see what we got.
Were you confident going to the judges' scorecards? You never know with judging these days.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I was. I like I said, I think I was very, very. This was the most in tune I was in a fight for sure. In a sense of like eyes open, super alert, kind of like not so much into the tunnel vision. So I knew obviously landing that head kick, I was up in the first round, finishing on top, and then obviously finishing in the third with control time. More than basically half the round, I was on top. I was control. I took his back towards the end, so I knew I had won at least the first and the third round. But I was like maybe iffy about the second round, and actually that's exactly how it turned out. So I think they did give him the second round minus the point deduction, which was the 29-27.
Did you watch the main event? There's been some controversy there. It was a close fight, but some people felt like maybe the judges got that one wrong. Did you happen to see it?
I did. I watched the main event, not live, but I went back and watched I went back and watched it the next day, and I was like, wow. I think the biggest discrepancy for me was giving all the rounds were very, very close, but giving Albazi the fourth round to me was kind of like, wow. That one was like probably the only thing that I'm like, that was actually like a mistake. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but based off of just that cost Kai the fight, correct? Yeah. So I think it's definitely a bad decision.
How did you celebrate after the fight? Again, it was a big win for you coming back. Like I said, you put a lot into this camp, cross training and all that. What did you get up to that night?
Went over to Evil Pie Pizza and and like kind of like the old Las Vegas area, the old
Okay.
strip, and then went back to the hotel and just kind of relaxed and played some chess, to be honest, with my coaches and my teammates. And
Oh,
then
nice.
yeah, and then that very next day we went and shot some guns over at a shooting range here in Las Vegas. I didn't go home until Sunday night, so we kind of like walked the strip. I think all that pizza kind of had me really, really full that day. So I wanted to do some walking, and we walked the strip for a good amount and built up an appetite, and then went and got some tacos at Tacos El Pastor, and then got on the flight and went home. So
There you go, living the dream. How that pizza place? Would you recommend it? Because I'm going to Vegas for UFC 290, so
yeah,
I need to know these things. Yeah.
Yeah, Evil Pie. So I've actually never. This is my first time there, but I got it recommended by my manager, Jason House, and he's obviously a local. Yeah, he's a local there, so he said that that's hands down the best pizza ever. And honestly, I have to agree with him. I got the meat lovers with jalapeno, so I don't know if that's something that floats your boat, but that was
No, it does. The spicier the better. I actually I'm big into like spices and all that. I'm gonna write that down right now. Gotta check that place out. Just thinking, I'm getting hungry thinking about it and all that.
And the good part about it is that they sell it by the slice too, and the slices are huge, so you can buy
Cool.
you can buy a whole pie or just a couple slices.
When are you looking to get back in there? When do you want to have that next fight?
Soon. So I have a little injury that I got an X-ray on it actually just first thing when I landed on Monday. So I'm waiting to hear back on the results for that. Pending the results on that little injury, we're good to go. Like I said, I'm full-time athlete now. I'm not working. I'm walking lighter. This day, any other fight, I'd probably be like 165 already, but I'm actually only 154 this morning. So
Nice.
I'm super light, ready to take another fight. So I'd like to be in there before September for sure.
There you go. Any opponents in mind, or you kind of just leave that up to your management and your coaches?
Yeah, definitely leave it up to managements and coaches, but I would absolutely love to fight in front of people. I think that my style, these last 3 fights have kind of like shown just kind of like how entertaining I can be and how ready for like a war I am. And I think that I want to thrive off of some people, some live crowds. So I think that I would do really well. I got signed to the UFC during COVID, and my first fight was in Abu Dhabi, obviously closed audience. And then my last couple of fights have been UFC Fight Night. So very, very limited people in there. I want to fight in front of some people.
Now, if you don't get the fight in the summer, do you have any plans for the summer? I don't know what it's like in Minnesota this time of year, but I imagine it's pretty nice if you're not in the snow, right? So yeah. I'm sure you're getting out to a few things. You got anything planned, like just in the interim?
No, I mean, I got some weddings to go to. My stepsister is getting married, and a couple of my friends, 2 of my friends are getting married this summer as well. But other than those weddings, I'm honestly just going to be training, staying busy, and hoping to fight this summer. I have no doubt I'll be able to fit one more in this summer.
There you go. That's great. John, thanks so much for doing this, man, and congratulations on the win. If there's anyone you want to thank before we get out of here, any sponsors, any social media you want to mention, I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, first and foremost, obviously my management team, Iridium Sports Agency, specifically, Jeremy and Jason right there at the top, and Jacob, all the training partners at Minnesota Martial Arts Academy, Bang Tao MMA and Muay Thai over in Thailand with the Hickman brothers. And then, I think the 2 main training partners that I had for this camp, Quang Lee and Joseph Dashu. Big thanks to you guys as well.